this John Durham thing that popped up on Friday night, I saw you on Hannity talking about it. Why isn't the media covering this?
Yeah, because they've weaponized the system. Let me give you kind of the thing that, if there's one thing I figured out over the last 5 years, and guys, I'm not a politician. I knew nothing about politics. I built hotels. I'm a real estate guy. But the one thing I figured out of, kind of during this little crusade of ours was the weaponization of the system. And it's the one thing that the left is really kind of good at. And, every institution in this country, every institution that shouldn't be political has been turned political by one side. And that's like a deeply dangerous thing for this country. And you see that with media, you see it with social media, you see it with technology, you see it with the DOJ and the FBI. You see it in the military. I mean, Dan, you're a military guy. Are you thrilled that Milley's going up there saying, I'd like to learn about white rage while, China's launching hypersonic missiles and we don't even know about it? Guys, they've weaponized every single institution in this country, but they've weaponized the media. And guys, I was the guy that got the Sussman call, right? I mean, my team literally called me that day when, New York Times sends an email. We hear that you have secret servers, literally in the building that I'm in right now. We hear that you have secret servers with Russia. I go, guys, we don't have secret servers. Like, we're a real estate company. We build hotels and golf courses and, run other properties. Well, we hear they're linked directly with the Kremlin, with Alpha Bank in the Kremlin, which is a Putin sympathetic bank. I go, guys, we don't have any servers with, So this guy, this fraudster, being paid by Hillary Clinton, walks out of the FBI building, literally calls up the New York Times, the Washington Post, the two, biggest anti-Trump papers. Yes, we hear that the FBI is investigating the Trump organization. That obviously, sets into motion this whole kind of Russia collusion thing. But you want to talk about dirty, nasty people? It's horrible. So, guys, I'm pissed off, and the media is not talking about it because they were wrong. And half of those media outlets, their journalists won Pulitzer Prizes reporting on a story that was bullshit.
Yeah.
And guys, it shouldn't have happened. It's disgusting. And the thing that pisses me off most about it, aside from the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of hours that were wasted, the tens of millions of dollars, the destroying of young people's lives within the administration, this crazy woman, this crooked woman, literally pitted the two largest nuclear superpowers against each other, almost creating a Cold War of sorts because she wanted to get an extra 3 votes. Like, why does no one talk about that?
I don't know. Look, besides podcasts and things like that, the traditional media isn't covering any of this. Dan, you were on the Steele dossier long before a lot of people were, and that was bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Dan was actually one of the few guys that got it right. I remember this.
Yeah. It's so stupid. I mean...
Like a long time ago.
Like, since November of 2020, the biggest threat to democracy, according to the legacy media hacks out there, has been questioning the integrity of federal elections, which is really interesting because in November of 2016, this whole collusion thing, the greatest threat to democracy was an illegitimate election that got Trump in office, right? That was the greatest threat to democracy, which is super interesting because earlier in 2016, Hillary Clinton used DNC money to pay a foreign agent to fabricate evidence, right? Which is an actual threat to democracy.
Yeah.
It is unfucking believable that you could trace these steps backwards and see each point where weak men and women, right, capitulated to money and power, whether it's a part of their own ego or fear from reprisal. And it's Edmund Burke. All that fucking evil needs to succeed is for good men to do nothing.